Hunter. We're getting close to our rendezvous point with the Yukon submarines. Here, we'll separate from our allies we met along the way and continue on. The Odessa defense line has been breached in several areas, and I've been informed that enemy troops are in pursuit. We'll see if we can make it to the rendezvous point first, or if the enemy beats us to it. We will watch our backs carefully while we proceed. Should the pursuing enemy troops come too close, we'll hold them back and buy time for our allies to flee to safety. We'll head over to the rendezvous point afterward. We will never abandon our allies under any circumstances. Over.
Okay, folks, and welcome back to Let's Play Mobile Suit Gundam Zeonic Front. We're on to Mission 9, The Hunter. We're going to see a couple of return cameos here from some previous enemy units that'll show up. I'm not going to spoil it. He's kind of annoying, and he actually can be a really big pain in the ass in this mission, matter of fact. Let's go ahead and take a look just briefly at the map system here. There's already kind of a predetermined route system here. I'm going to change this, but only slightly. For the most part, this map route thing it's got going on here is okay, except for Blue Team. Blue Team is the one change I'm going to make here, but we'll get to that eventually. Let's go ahead and take a look at our team setup. For those of you who are coming from the previous episode to this one, you know that we got a few new things. I think we got a couple new mobile suits and some new equipment. So let's take a look at that, shall we? Yes, we did get kind of a couple new things. And then one thing in particular, if I remember correctly, should show up here. Now, usually I use Lieutenant Rower, Manning, and Austin, but for this mission I'm actually going to be getting rid of Rower. I don't really need him for this mission because there is someone to replace him. And we'll go ahead and put him on standby, and then we're going to be taking... Now, let's just go over this. Ensign Roberto here got his new upgraded Zaku 2J, along with a Zaku... well, not Zaku, but a 90mm machine gun, which is pretty good, and some new support stuff. I really don't care much about him at this moment. The man of the hour, however, the man with all that swagger, is the one we want. So we'll go ahead and add him to the Blue Team here, and I'll show you exactly why he's so fantastic for this mission. He has the DOM, the MS-09 mass production model DOM. Fantastic little mobile suit, and it's also armed with a Rakuten bazooka, although later on you'll get more access to things for him for it. Now, unfortunately, he doesn't have a shield, which is probably one of his biggest failings, and his support leaves a little bit to be desired. For the most part, we always want to equip Armor 1 here. It's fine. And then we've got a couple of different choices here. We unfortunately can't equip the Magella tank attack option for it, but we can use the beam spray, which is what I'm going to go for, just because it disables enemy cameras and sensors. Pretty good if you're ever really having bad luck with your RNG going up against enemy units. So we'll go ahead and equip that. I hardly ever have to use it, so here's hoping I don't. Okay, so he's about all set. Now, Swaggart is actually going to be the man who takes care of this mission single-handedly almost. Matter of fact, I'd say 80% of the enemy units are going to be meeting their doom at Swaggart's hand here. So, for the most part, not much has changed. Like I said, Roberto got some new little stuff. We don't really care. Nobody else really got anything new here. I am going to keep with Austin and Manning. They're pretty good for doing defense work and, well, babysitting, basically. And that's more into about what the mission itself is. As you heard from the briefing, we're on our way and retreating from Operation Odessa, which we've been doing for a couple of missions now. And we have some allied tanks that we have to escort. They are slow and they are easy targets, so we really have to be careful with them. They kind of break too easy. I'll go ahead and keep that there. We don't have any advice for this stage, kind of like the last one before it, so it's not too bad. Let's see here. Now what we will go into is route setup, so I can change Blue Team. We're going to do a completely new route for Blue Team. So yes, new route. Going to add. Now for the most part, I really don't need to have them on fully automatic. I'm going to be controlling them for a good portion of this mission. But it's always helpful for me in the dark just to have the ability to follow the trace line. So that's what I'm going to do for it. Most of the time I'll do this off screen, that way you don't have to see me doing this route plan out, but it's pretty straightforward. What we're going to be doing is going from the sides here and coming around, because there, if you see here in the map itself, there's one really large open area where both green team and red team's routes along with our yellow allies will intersect at there. That is the killing field. We want to make sure that we get there first before green team and red team. And with the Dom, that's so fucking simple, it's not even funny. Matter of fact, this is kind of the point in the game where you start getting mobile suits that can really contend with a lot of the Federation's overpowered monstrosities, like the gun cannon, the gun tank, and so on and so forth. Especially armed with some of the better weapons later on that you get. So let's go ahead and finish this route off here. Make him down this way. And then usually right here, if I was going to go full autonomous mode, this is usually the route where, or the point where I'll have the unit stop, because it should be relatively clear of enemy units for it to engage right here. And I'd usually put a battle code, but I'm not going to really worry about it too much. And then they're going to go straight over here. And I want them straight into the heart of the enemy here. They are going to be flanking them, and they will, if all goes according to plan, absolutely demolish them. And that's what we hope happens. So we'll go ahead and set them up here. Let's see, let me check one thing. Look at my route. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Now, you're going to have issues with enemies popping up periodically throughout these little routes here. And thermal is going to be your best friend, because there's a huge Minovsky particle density. I think it's like 92%. And it's not going to make things very easy for you. You know, just for shits and grins, just in case I have to, let's go ahead and throw a battle code in here. Just A will work. And I will keep them on fast-paced avoid. The Dom is extremely fast. Like, wow. Compared to anything that we've actually had access to by this point, it might as well be goddamn Sonic the Hedgehog how fast it is. Especially when it's on super speed run mode, when you hold down the L1 button and go. Just crack open a beer here, and it tastes delicious. So let's go ahead to our last screen. We've pretty well got everything I need done here. Yep. So blue team has a new route. Otherwise, blue team's default route would be to follow red team in one giant clusterfuck. For some strange reason, I have trouble with keeping all the units together. They tend to like get really stuck on one another, especially with the Magella attack tanks that we actually have to escort. Your teams will get stuck on them, and you may have to interrupt autonomous mode in order to get them out of it. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means sometimes the mission will go a little haywire because, well, the pathing and the AI just don't play nice together for whatever reason. So, let's go ahead and start this shit. Alright, now I've adjusted the brightness for this mission because it is, like the mission briefing said, nighttime. So it's going to be really dark, and I'm hoping it's not going to be so dark that you can't see shit. Otherwise, I may have to go back to the emulated version of this. In which case, we will have all types of screen tear and probably texture fuck-ups, and I'm trying to avoid that. Yeah, that looks pretty good.
All units, watch for enemies.
You're not getting away.
Oh, hello there, asshole.
Don't allow a single soldier to escape. If you do, that enemy may come back someday and take you out. Keep that in mind and destroy them all! Huh? Yes, they're the ones. I fought them in the Gobi. Stubborn creeps. I'll put an end to this. It's payback time!
They've caught up to us. All units, protect our allies. Secure a path to retreat.
This feeling, I don't like it. Get out! Stop tormenting me!
Okay, so he's got a really big heart-on for us, and I think he likes us quite a bit. So let's go meet our little favorite Agar and see how he does. Now, we're going to take control of the blue team Dom unit here, and hopefully wreck quite a bit of fetty ass here. There are a lot of problems with this forest route, and here's one of them. Just waiting for you. You gotta be very careful of where units will pop out for you, especially because you're kind of regulated to just using the actual thermal, which kind of hinders you in terms of what you can see. So take cautiously through this path, because you're kind of tempted to use the speed of the Doms, which is goddamn amazing, to just go balls deep into into this mission, and you'll find yourself really in hurt if you're not careful. Hey guys, you want to attack an enemy unit? Anytime now. There you go. Now, this bazooka, while it is a great repeating bazooka, it takes forever to reload, so keep that in mind. We've got an enemy unit behind us, and I don't like that. There he goes. Go ahead and try and reload when you use single shots. That way you have a full canister, or full shells to use. And our goal is just to beat green team and red team down to that open area, so as long as we do that, we should be okay. Keep an eye on your corners when you go around, otherwise you'll get sucker punched. And since the Dom doesn't have a shield, and it wouldn't really matter even if you had one, should you get attacked in the back, it's almost an instant crash for any of your units, so keep that in mind. Okay, we're getting real close to here where we need to be. There should be one installation down here that we can target at the battle code. There we go, we're now at code 1, there's the installation. Destroyed it, reloading, and now what we're going to do is, usually I would just let them take the battle code and go straight in there, but I want to control this myself. So, here, well, we got one unit up there, we don't want you getting too close to us. He's gone. So let's go ahead and boogie into this, shall we? 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring except for Agar, you ass! And he's dead! Aha, the Wicked Witch is dead. Now it's a shooting spree for you. Agar is generally the biggest pain in the ass in this mission. So if you can take him out, you're pretty well clear. There's just a lot of enemies to actually take care of this, so keep that in mind. Reload when you need to. Come on, manual reload, let's go. This is good timing too, because a lot of our units are going to start showing up here. Come on, reload faster. I wish you had Reloader 1 already. Come on, you're almost done. There we go. Thankfully, these enemy units are kind of slow with their reaction time, so it makes it a little bit easier for us. Should be one, maybe one more. Nope. Looks like we're done there. Lots of gems to take care of. Now, just keep an eye out. You're going to have more units that'll try their luck on you here. So just keep using the Dom units to actually skirt around. And when you use run mode for the Doms, they're fucking amazingly fast. So we're just going to go around here and see if we can catch anybody unaware. Speaking of which, nice little gem team to take care of. A couple more units over here. Now be careful, you can lose all your allies while you're trying your best to blow everything up, which looks like we lost quite a few of them. So we've got that one last ally here to protect. I'm going to reload while I have the chance to. Get around this forested area, because all they have to do is get down to here and cross the border right there, and they're good to go. Yep, the one lone tank to make it over the line. Not the best of times for it, but it shouldn't really cost us a penalty, if I remember correctly. You only really get a penalty if you lose a mobile suit, which is really rather nice. Is he having trouble getting around us? Where'd he go? Think we made it. Yep.
Enemy retreat confirmed. We won!
Pretty simple, right? That's the power of the Dom. You can just rush right in high speed and just disable everything. Now, Agar there would be a really big pain in the ass to fight if we didn't take him out the way we did.
Our next step was to hurry to our rendezvous point, and so we parted ways with our allied troops. I'm afraid they'll have to fight even tougher battles from now on. And so will we.
Okay, so, like I said, the reason I took that route, and on that side, because you can take the side route with green team, red team, any team you really want. But the reason why, and that's right, the reason why I took that specific path through the forest is one, it eliminates quite a few of the choppers that you'll randomly have spawn off to the right side of the map. I don't know why they only spawn on that side, but they do. There's also a couple of gem teams that you can easily snipe, and a couple of tank teams that you can take out all on the way down there, all before they even get close to red or green team. So that eliminates danger that they can be flanked, or anything could go wrong that way. Like I said, be careful when you're going around those corners for those trees, because you are using thermal because of the shitty vision, and because he doesn't have access to night scopes or anything like that. You have to be really careful with what you can actually see, because that gem team, actually, I remember going through that beforehand in playing it the first time after discovering that route, and forgetting about that gem team at the way beginning there. And they'll come up right behind you and take your entire team out because, well, they're pot-shotting you right in the back. And as you saw with Agar, if you just plant one good bazooka shell right into somebody's back, they'll blow up. Doesn't matter what they're using, they're gone. And that's exactly what happened to Agar. Now, if you leave him alone and you follow the pre-described routes that you have with the normal game menu, what's going to happen is everything should be okay up until that point where you get to that open field or that clearing in the forest. And then all Armageddon is going to be unleashed upon you because all the tanks and Agar are all pointed straight at you. And let's say, for good measure, you just happen to clear all of that. You can even take out Agar. You might be able to do it if you rush him with a high-speed unit like the Dom. Get a couple melee swings on him, you might be okay. The issue comes from that, even if that point, you're going to start having enemy units coming from the left and the right sides. They're going to try and just box you in, which is really effective considering that all they have to do to end the mission is destroy all the tanks, which are giant sitting shoot me signs. They might as well have a giant bullseye on them. They're so slow, they take one hit and they're gone. So, that's why I recommend that route to the right side there with the Dom unit. For speed, the bazooka's power, and the ability to take out Agar first. He is an absolute key linchpin to that mission, so I recommend doing it that way. You can come around the other direction, but it puts you off to a different advantage because you have a bunch of tank units in your way, which means if you're trying to target Agar, you may not be able to just because of the distance. And if you can't target him, that means he can probably see you because we all know the game loves to just be able to be cheap like that. And he's just going to unleash some mid-range cannon shells right down your asshole. Well, that's about it for that mission. It's pretty short. 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And wow, almost exactly 3:30 and 30. It's not too bad. Got an S rank for it. Sometimes I have lost 1 or 2 units from the red and green team due to the AI's pathing getting a little stuck and it's not able to respond to enemies as quick as it should. I lose 1 or 2 units. I've never really lost a leader, green team or red team leader crash, but I have lost blue team's leader crash because of some of the flanking maneuvers the enemy spawns will do. So just keep that in mind. And you may, if you do happen to take one enemy or unit loss, like just one of your soldiers, that will kick you down to just the A rank. So it can be really just random. So let's go ahead on here.
Odessa was still reeling from the loss of their communication system. We escaped Odessa and returned safely to California base. Around the time of our return, Captain Shar's Mad Angler Squadron was in pursuit of the Trojan Horse. Thanks to Captain Shar, who had observed the enemy ship reaching its headquarters, we finally determined the exact location of Jaburo. November 30th. Preparations were underway to assemble all our available units and take over Jaburo.
Thanks to the report from the Mad Angler Squadron, we've determined the exact location of the enemy's general headquarters, Jaburo. We'll gather all of our battle strength to attack and secure the base. Your mission is simple. Descend to your designated location and bring your area under control. That's all you need to do. If we succeed, all the difficulties we now face will be stamped out, and there will be hope for our future. 2 new members have been transferred here to join us for this mission. I've taken the liberty of assigning them to your unit. Get the details from your Lieutenant Commander.
Okay, so we've got 2 new pilots, which I think are the final set of pilots that we should get for this entire game, outside of the specialty pilots. And then we've got new supplies and a couple new mobile suits to come through. Like I said, this is the point where in the game you're going to be getting a lot of really good mobile suits to use for anti-mobile suit combat. Whereas before, yeah, the Zaku 2 was okay, and even the Goof had its good moments for the most part, but it was generally against vehicles that you're going up against. Not a lot of mobile suits, a couple of weird ones here and there, and then that god-awful Trojan Horse mission. But now you're actually going to be fighting a hell of a lot more mobile suits, just of the mass production kind. Gems, gun cannons, that type of thing, and a couple of other unnamed units that we'll be seeing crop up here soon, like Agar, for example, and his gun cannon. But this is going to get a little bit easier for us. So we've kind of gotten over the hump of difficulty scaling there. At least I think so. So we'll go ahead and end the mission here. And when we come back, we'll actually start on to, I think is it mission 10? Oh, yeah, mission 10. Now we're on mission 10 for it, where we'll be attacking Jaburo and actually participating in that mission. So until next time, folks, see you later.